it's MK and I am back for another April's Fooled You, and today is also Woodgrain Wednesday. I'm not sure because Take Out Your Tools Tuesday did end up being on a Wednesday. I don't know if this will be on a Wednesday as well, and then that way I just have two videos just to get caught up. But I already had this planned and set up for Woodgrain Wednesday. So you guys all have seen blah. It was stuck. So you guys have all seen this. Here is my inspiration board. I'm working with the exact same papers that I have been working with kind of sort of all month long. I did take a hiatus for a little bit, and a couple of the days have slipped away from me, which is okay because we've got nice weather and bad weather and all that other good jazz in between. So as you can see, I have mini papers all over the place. I've already have them sorted out into kind of sort of the embellishment clusters that I want to make, just to process it easier in my brain of how I was going to do this, because they're not all going to be the same, as you can see. Some of them I do have the same papers, like here's my wood grain and here's my star paper, but I don't have the same embellishments for both pieces. And then this star paper is different than this one and this one, and so it's all going to be a little bit different. I also have some florals here, here, and here, and then this one over here is going to kind of sort of be an ocean thing. So I'm coming up to the end of April's Fooled You. And the thing about coming up to the end is you kind of sort of are running out of supplies, if that's a thing. But yes, I am kind of sort of running out of supplies, and so I actually had to dig into a few of my my dice choices, like my wood veneer, my die cut embellishments, and what else did I do? No, that's it. My wood veneer and my die cut embellishments. So I brought those in as well, because that's one of the things that I have been missing as far as like part of the embellishment. There's got to be something that the foundation of the embellishment fits with. Does that make sense? So when you're creating a foundation or an embellishment, you need to have a foundation and then little bits to go on top of that foundation. And I was running out of that, so I did have to I did have to dig down into my dice in order to get that. But I did keep my two number 5s. So I brought in my flare. Oh, and I brought in my ribbon. Sorry, it got lost on my desk. Weird, huh? So my ribbon is this really cool, meshy, silvery stuff. I don't know. It's like a net or a web or something. It's really cool. And I absolutely love it. I don't have, well, I have a lot of it, especially to go off of what I'm going to be doing with all of these pieces going on. And then my mini paper pads, I already talked about. My pocket cards are part of my die cuts. Our pocket cards already pre-cut, and I just stuck them in with my die cut embellishments. So I'm kind of sort of cheating there. But the hard work's already done for me. Mixed media, I will be bringing in mixed media to color like this, to color my wood pieces. Not all of them, but most of them. I also have this corrugated pieces. Now these are very, very old, close to my heart pieces that I've had forever, and I will be coloring those as well, or leaving some of them, like right here, I enjoy having them be this color, but over here I might change the color, and over here I might change the color. And I think those are the 3 areas where I have my corrugated pieces. Also, my doilies and gears. So instead of doilies and gears, I did frames. So the concept is still there. It's a round-ish object, but I chose to do frames. I have frames in a few clusters, like I have frames here. I have frames here, but it also has the inner bits to the frames. I have a frame of a heart here, and then a few bracket frames over here. So I brought those in instead of doilies and gears. Shaker blisters are for tomorrow. I even have all my stuff right there for tomorrow. Woo! And hopefully it'll actually be ready for tomorrow. Allowables, tools, and stamps, I'm not going to bring anything in. I'm just keeping it as is. Again, I've got my flare kind of sort of already spread out amongst all the little clusters that I want to do. But the clusters aren't going to be the same. Even though I'm going to be doing the exact same thing, This set right here will be this set. This set right here will be this set. So I really haven't done anything like this before. Normally all the supplies are the same for every single cluster going through. So I was really excited to do a cluster like this. Not all of my pieces are wood grain, as you can see. I have a wood grain with a floral here, but over here I have this really cool fun stripe with a couple oceany papers. Yeah, that's the word, papers. And I couldn't decide on which one I wanted to do. In fact, I even pulled out this airplane card, but clearly I'm going to do ocean, so bye. And I might do this one. I might do that one. Yep, instead of my little, but I'm going to hold on to both of them. We'll find out. We'll see what I'm capable of. But I do have all of these to play with. So basically, I've got, what, 7 groups? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8. I can't count. I already knew that. Just making sure you guys did too. So I've got 8 clusters going on, so 8 different types of embellishments that I'm going to be making, but I will be working off of, this is what I chose, but I'm not sure how close I'm going to stick with it. Now I do know that the last one that I chose, I kind of veered off and did my own thing, but the pieces that I had came from the sketch. I created my strips, I created my doilies, and I created my flowers, and those were all taken from the sketch. Now here I have a very busy background. Whoop, it turned on me. Weird. I have a very busy background, I have a calming background, I have something in the center, and then a cluster over on the bottom right, and a few other little like fill-in pieces, right, and a title and all that other stuff. So I can still do this, but I don't know if I'm going to do this. Does that make sense? So like I can still take the concept and have everything over on the bottom right or in the center because that's where the photo is, and then have my clusters going around that way. I'm not really sure. I haven't figured this part out yet, but I do know that I've already kind of sort of picked out what it is that I'm going to be playing with, and how I want each little, like inside this color scheme that I have going on. I've already picked out a few things. Now how many of these I will make from this, I have no idea. I don't know. I just pulled in a few things, trying to get it to where I am going to be comfy with what I have right here, instead of scratching my head going, what do I do now? Because I don't know. I guess I could have also flipped it over and did both sides like that. Weird. No, it was too big. That's why I chose not to do that. Okay, sorry. Talking to myself. That's how it works. All right, so I'm going to get going. I'm just going to pull one and start with one, and then work my way through all the others. I do have to go pull my sprays and spray all of my pieces that I would like to play with. And after that, yeah, I'm gonna start having some fun. All right, let's get going.
As always, I start off on the uber super slow train, where I grabbed one cluster and I started cutting it up one at a time. So I knew that I was going to want to cut these in 3x3s because I wanted to set a like space or limit, I guess, to the size of these embellishments. I really wanted to do, you know, like my 3x3 little clusters that I enjoy doing, and they're a lot easier managed for a layout. So I first started tearing all of my pieces, and then I thought, oh, I want it bannered, so I'll tear it, and it looks like poo. So no, we're not going to keep the tearing, but instead I'm going to edge distress. And I thought, okay, I'll edge distress. Well, I didn't like the edge distressing on my banner, so I cut it with my scissors and then edge distressed. I like that a lot more, trying to incorporate the ribbon. And in the sketch, it does show, well, the sketch that I'm not showing you guys, weird. In the sketch, it shows a block and then, a block, a square behind everything, and then this banner, and then pieces going across, kind of making a shelf for the photo. And then after that, I'm pretty much winging it. I'm pretty much doing whatever I wanted to do. I put some things on the left, I put some things on the right, but the center, focal image is in the center like the photo is. And so that's pretty much where I'm going with, with all of these clusters, is that it will be a little central and then something either on the right or on the left. Yep. And then when I decided that my tearing wasn't going to be equal all the time, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. So I decided that I was going to cut my 3x3s in half, just to make sure that my tearing doesn't go wonky and I don't end up messing myself up and not having enough pieces for, each block that I have. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking my busy paper and cutting it into 3x3s, and I'm taking my wood grain or other pieces of paper and turning them into 1.5x3s, and then making it a little bit longer, stretching it across the 3x3 square is basically what I'm doing. And then the ribbon will get stretched across horizontally, either at the top or at the bottom. So I did have to go and take my my yellow pieces, because everything else that, like icons and things were yellow. And it's like, I don't want yellow on yellow on yellow. So I am going to, I kind of went in there and tried to get a turquoise, but because I already did a really dark green, it kind of sort of was like, oh my gosh, I'm not really sure. And I don't know why it keeps freezing on me. So I hope it's not messed up, you guys. I apologize about that. It's freezing on me. It might not be freezing on you. But that's normally when you get the static and it's all like, and awful sounds and stuff. And I absolutely apologize for that, you guys. I am getting a new computer, and I'm hoping that it's the processor within the computer that is causing these issues. But I'm also getting a new editing tool, because I'm not very happy with this editing tool. I don't know if it's the computer or the editing tool. So I'm going to eliminate both of them. So anywho, back to what I'm doing. Still on the slow boat, I am, making each piece for all of my squares, and I will do this for the next 3 clusters, you guys. Oh my gosh. And then I finally, wake up and realize, hey, this is going to be easier if I don't stop every cluster and edge distress. Maybe it might be easier. Who knows? But I did have to go back into my messy box and, respray these little, they're squares with ticket edges on them. And I had to, respray them just because of the fact that I wanted them different colors. And of course, because I was impatient, I heat set them. And when I heat set them, they kind of become gummy. Sprays don't like to be heat set. They like to be air dried. And so basically, when I made them gummy, I couldn't put my fingers in them. So I had to use my towel. Well, good part about that was my towel ended up leaving a really cool effect on them, kind of like I meant to distress them. And so I was like, happy accident there. Yay. So moving on to the next, I took out all the edge distressing, because again, I'm cutting these one at a time. If you could tell, no, you can't tell because I'm zoomed in too much. I have my pile of stuff, off to the side. I can't remember if it's the left or the right, but they're still in 6x6 format. I still haven't got on the bandwagon of I should have cut all my pieces at 3x3 first. I should have cut all my banners. I should have done all that. But I didn't. So anyways, and I do seem to be talking with my hands because I am. I'm actually on the phone call with a girlfriend, as well as my husband stops by every now and then and asks me things. I can't remember exactly what it was that he was asking me for, but yeah, see, there I am. And then I go back to what I was doing. Yeah, I'm a hand talker, in case you guys did not know. So I really love this One Canoe 2 little postcard. I did have to cut it down so that way I wasn't losing a whole bunch of the background pieces, even though I am covering up almost that entire floral piece. I do like the little bit of gray wrapped around it, and I absolutely love how this ended up looking in the end. I really enjoyed how that looked. And then this little bicycle is also from One Canoe 2. It was in one of their die cut die cut packs. And by the time that I figured out what I was going to do with this card, again, I have too much of that aqua tealy color. Paused again. I am so sorry. It's hard to do a voiceover when all of a sudden you just stop doing what you're doing, but the recording is still recording. Weird. Anyways, so I had to go off camera and change the color of my heart because it was just too much. Oh, showing my new purchase from Michael's, by the way. There was a little glimpse of it. Sorry. Anyways, there's just too much teal or aqua on this little, I don't know, what's it called again? Cluster. Embellishment cluster. Oh my god. So yeah, it just was too much for me. So I went and took the solid hearts and changed them up just a little bit. And then I didn't like that either. So I do come in and I don't take that out to try and change the color. So I did have to double up the foam dots to put my flare on. It just was not going to work. I tried to put one foam dot and then some glue in hopes that the glue's dome part would hold on, but no. And plus I'm too impatient to wait for glue to dry on metal objects. I just really am. So just being honest. And then I do have to take a few minutes to actually like hold down any object that I'm wet gluing to any of my ribbon. So that's kind of a pill. And here's where I decided I was going to take this silver glaze from Vicky Bouton and just rub it across, rub the heart across with my finger, just trying to get the raised points. I want it to still be teal down in the depths, but I do want the raised portions to be silver. So I think that that's going to look a-okay. And I especially like it on this one. Hopefully it'll look good for my bicycle one too. And I do still have to go back to my bicycle one, just to let you know. I was waiting for the heart to dry, but clearly I didn't wait for the heart to dry on this one. That's how I am. So, and I have no clue where I got these wooden hearts, you guys. Just no clue. I don't know where I got the wooden squares either. So here's the little heart in a basket. I'm going to put it in with, inside the basket of my bicycle. Yeah. And there we have it. Paused again. Oh my goodness, you guys. It's awful. I'm so sorry. So what am I doing now? Here's the third set. Again, every single one of these are going to end up being different. I absolutely enjoyed this one. This one is my favorite one so far, you guys. I know I've probably said that about all of them, but because of how different all of these turned out, like I only have 4 of this one and I only had 4 of the previous one and I have 4 of the next one. But even within those 4, they're still not the same because I don't have the same supplies to go around for that many times, which is a good thing. If I don't have 4 of something, I am a happy girl, to be honest. So I do go through my sticker books. I did bring in some tiny words at the very last minute, and I didn't put that in, in the opening. But I did decide to do tiny words because some of my flare has words and some of them do not. And so I did decide, that I needed a little something, to be honest. I was struggling without having to bring in those elements. And I think that that's what I was struggling with throughout this entire month, is the fact that I limited myself without realizing that, even though I didn't roll the dice for tiny words, I still could have brought the tiny words in. Or same with the wood veneer. Just because I didn't, or the die cuts, just because I didn't roll the dice doesn't mean I shouldn't have. And so I think that that's where some of my issue was with this entire month. But hey, you live and you learn and you figure it out as you go. That's how it works. That is how everything works. But and plus all the computer issues that I was having, it kind of got a little distraught of, oh my gosh, I just have this recording and now I have to go and edit it. I don't want to. I don't want to edit it because I'm having such struggle and I can't figure it out. I've gone everywhere. I've, tried to do things outside, on someone else's computer and it seemed to work just fine. But was it the area that we were in because we were traveling? I mean, there's just so many things that that blows me away of what the issues could be if I were to troubleshoot what the actual issue is. I don't really want to take, like, there's so many internet providers out there that in this area that it's like, do I take it to all my friends' homes to see if it's my internet? Do I take it to see if it's the program or the computer? You know, because I can go and put the program on anybody's computer as long as I'm logged into it, right? It's an online basic program. And so it kind of, which is good because if I get a new computer, I've already paid for it and I don't have to pay for, you know, you can only use this so many times type thing. Anyways, that's boring. Oh my God. What am I doing? So I have this old Stampin' Up! Little cutout of this Ferris wheel theme park type thing. And I thought that would be kind of cool to put it on the little cluster. And then of course it says Summer Memories down by it. And here's where I finally got on the bandwagon of pre-cutting all of my stuff. Whoa, that took a hot minute. So now I have all these little clusters. They're already edge distressed. That took forever. I don't know whose idea that was, but it was a bad idea. Anyways, everything's already edge distressed. So now I just have to divide all of the elements that I picked out and choose a couple tiny words. You know, those that didn't come with tiny words or don't have tiny words need a little help. So I just had to pick out that, and now I'm ready to rock and roll. This should go by a hair faster unless I disappear. It is not frozen. I disappeared. I went to go get this silver twine. It is not my favorite twine. In fact, I avoided it at all costs. So this is my second patch because Close to My Heart enjoys putting these kinds of things in kits. And it's like, yeah, I'm not a fan of those. So in my kit, I'm probably not going to use it. And clearly I've used one because it was easy to use. And then I'm, using this one now, which isn't a whole lot. But I do have to say that once I decided to tape the end off with washi, it did make this project go by a lot faster. So in the beginning, when I first opened it up, I mean, as soon as I unwrapped it from the little spool, it instantly started unraveling on me. And I'm like, oh, this is why I don't like this, like at all. There's 3 whole strands and they won't stay together. But once I washi taped them together, or washi taped the ends, it was like, oh, that's a miracle. I mean, why can't I do that all the time? So I just started washi taping the ends, and then what I'll do is I fold the washi over and then I cut it in half. That way half of the washied end stays on the spool and half of it goes on my project. And then of course I just cut it off. Not a big deal. But it made this project go by way super faster, and I didn't have to fight the fraying. No, I did not. So these little lantern type dealios are also leftovers from Stampin' Up! Little Project Life, no, not Project Life, I apologize. Paper pumpkin little thing. I thought I cut out all of my texting to you guys. I am sorry. I missed that one. Or maybe 2. Who knows? But yes, these are all from Stampin' Up's paper pumpkin little project that was that I just have. They give you so much leftovers that they're nice to have for, little embellishments or a layout or something like that. But sometimes it's way too much. Like I have a lot of water ocean ones left, and then I have a lot more of these lanterns left. And slowly but surely, while I do this project, I am going through my supplies. It's part of my spring cleaning that I enjoy doing. But I am going through my supplies and destashing. So here coming up soon, I will start to post things on my Instagram destashing site. So if you are following me over there, you will get to see how it works. Basically, all it is you pay for shipping. I will post how it's going to come. And it's basically, a medium flat rate, small flat rate, or large flat rate, depending on what it was. But I do like to, I don't like to individualize things out. I think that that's too complicated for me, waiting for someone to say, oh, I want this piece and that piece. Basically what it is I went through all my Stampin' Dies. If anybody's interested, let me know. If you guys, are looking for something specific, let me know. And then I will sell them as a bundle. that's kind of how it works. So anyways, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm slowly but surely just going through all of the goodies and creating a pile. And then once I get tired of either moving around the pile or like getting, what's it called? Like running out of room to hold it, to store it, that's when I start putting it on my destash page. So yes, these little birthday ones, again, a paper pumpkin that were left over, and I went ahead and I pre-made them. So I could have left the cake and the little circle bit and the banner. I could have left them all separate, but I went ahead and I pre-made them, just thinking that if I needed to throw a birthday card together really quickly. But they've been sitting in my stash for over a year. Clearly, I don't make birthday cards. Right? So they've been sitting in my stash for over a year, and I finally decided, you know what? These actually match a set of the papers that I'm using. So why don't we do that? There are a few items that I choose not to use. Like I decided to not use that always one. It just didn't tuck very well like I was wanting it to do. So I basically just tossed it on the side and picked another one to use. I'm okay if I don't use them all. It was just a thought that came in my brain. But now I'm wondering if it looks better with the cake behind the flare. And of course it did. So tucked that back in as well. I do actually enjoy, I've already said it, but I enjoy how all of these turned out, you guys. At first I was like, what am I getting myself into? I don't know, but I like it. And I do. I like how all of these look. I like the little banner of wood grain. I like the busy paper in the background. Whether it was the star paper or the flower paper or the striped paper, I really like this. I really like the paper as well. I might be going back and getting some more of this galaxy paper from Altenew, but before I do that, I have to consider how many galaxy papers I already have in a 12 by 12 format in my space bin. Just to let you guys know, I am a Star Galaxy Fruit Loop, and so I have collected all of that. And when I sit here and go, oh my gosh, I really like this paper, it's only because I'm looking at that paper. I'm not looking at my entire bin going, oh yeah, I don't need that paper. So anywho, again, more Stampin' Up! Paper pumpkin leftovers, this little mason jar. It was really super cute because you were able to have the little mason jar and then have the little bugs inside the jar. Well, I decided to put my bugs behind the jar. Now, because it's vellum, I'm not really sure how to attach it. So I put a little glue dot behind the string that I tied around it and attached it at the top. And then I put a foam dot behind my flare and attached it at the bottom, but it did need to be attached over on the left. So I put a teeny tiny itty bitty little dab of glue on my bug and it held just fine. So then I decided I kind of sort of didn't really like that. Even though it was a cute idea, I just really didn't like that. So for this one, after I fiddle with the string for a hot minute, I decided to glue it behind my little cluster and have the jar, just poking out behind, and then have my bugs kind of like they flew out of the jar. They came loose. They got out. There's no lid anyways. What was keeping them in there? So I did the exact same thing with this one. I believe this one, though, is going to go on the right side of my little cluster, though. And just for something different, trying to not make them all identical. It is kind of nice to have something all identical, but in the long run, it's nice to have that be depending on, if you're going to put it on the left side of your layout or the right side of the layout. That's all. Now I have had a lot, so I post all of these on Facebook, and that way everyone from Facebook that don't really get on the YouTube bandwagon can see what it is that I'm doing, on a basis, not daily or weekly or anything, on a random basis. I put these on Facebook, and I get a lot of comments that just says, these are great, but I want to see them used on a layout. Well, I didn't plan on using any of these on a layout, to be honest. I enjoy giving little handmade gifties to those that shop in my shop. shop in my shop. Yep, that's it. And so my intent when I first started was these are going to be my little thank you gifts. So when you place an order in my shop, now I have 1.5 million little thank yous that I can put in the orders from you guys. And then I have a little sticker that says, you know, when you shop with me, you're supporting a small business and I truly appreciate it. And this little handmade gift is, you know, me showing that I appreciated it. I put, you know, time and effort to put in, you know, to make something. If you guys think they're ugly, let me know. I will definitely just go with a little postcard that says, hey, thanks for your order, and be generic like that. But I feel like, you know, this is me. This is who I am and my style, and I love making these. This one is my favorite. Oh my gosh, these colors, you guys, are phenomenal. And I am almost out of this happiness paper collection from Cocoa Vanilla, but the color that I used for the spray was perfect. And then these little Schmel flare, excuse me, the little flare from Schmel are a perfect match as well. And then I used the Tim Holtz. I'm not sure if that was the copper. I believe it was the copper that I used on there, and they were perfect. Oh my gosh. I do enjoy taking all of my elements and spraying them with a spray. I do recommend getting a spray box, whether it's a small one for little embellishments like this or a large one that can hold a 12 by 12 for your layout. But when you spray just a little bit, and even if you don't think you can see it, don't just sit there and keep spraying your entire bottle out. Spray just a little bit, let it sit for a little bit, pick it up with some tweezers, move it around in the light, and then decide if you need to spray it some more. Especially these chipboard pieces. When I sprayed especially the peach ones that were like the brackets. When I sprayed those, I didn't like the color, so I continued to spray with other colors, and they became really, really weak. So even if I thought, whoa, they're just going to dry, nope, they stayed weak. So be careful with the sprays for sure, but also, you know, like I said, wait for it to dry a little bit, pick it up with tweezers, and then see if, you know, the spray is the right color or the saturation. So here's the last set. It's my little ocean set. I absolutely love these guys. Now, at first I thought, oh, this turtle is way too big, but I'm going to go for it. I'm already knee deep into this project. I did not actually want to get off my bum to go find something else because I did have an abundance of those whales. So I could have made them all the little cute whales, but I also had these 2 leftover little turtles. And so I thought, you know what? I want to use the turtles. So, to figure out where this turtle is going to go, I do have to reposition my my foam adhesive a little bit, just to make sure that he's not covering up the entire cluster. And then I have this very cute, it's like a button with a enamel thing inside it. It says, "Oh, darling," or "So darling." I think it says "So darling." Anyways, but I took off the foam because the button was thick enough as it was. I didn't need the extra foam behind it. So, and then here's this one, another little handmade whale. It's just from the little whale punch. I did these a while back, but I do have a ton of these, a lot. And because I didn't have a lot of words, I'm just adding something to do with the traveling portion. And because of my frame, I had to pop up a little bit of it. So I do like, you know, where some of it's popped up and some of it's not. So, and the seaweed paper turned out to be great. And with that ribbon, you know, kind of like shading or hiding the seam, it definitely seemed to go by, you know, like, oh, it didn't look like I even cut it in half. So that was a bonus right there. I really liked that it didn't really show very well. So anywho, almost done. I'm getting ready to do the very last one right here. And actually, when I got to this one, to be honest, I looked around to see what else I had left and realized that it was my last one and kind of got sad because I enjoyed these. These were again, they were my favorite out of the entire bunch, out of the entire month. I absolutely loved every single one of these. So stay tuned for the close-up. I believe that I have talked and rattled and done everything fair enough, long enough. So I'm going to put on some music while you guys look at the close-ups, and I will check y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye.